Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here, and today we will be checking out Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. This is an adventure game where you play as two brothers who are looking for a remedy for their ailing father. And in fact, we're at the very start of the game here. I wanted to show you some of the introductory stuff, just to get you introduced to the game without spoiling it too much for you. That's sort of how I like to approach these more story or narrative-driven games that are telling a story in a sequence of events. So anyways, yeah, this is an adventure game, and the very interesting thing about it is that you actually move the two brothers independently of each other. So this is a game that you need a controller to play. It's the PC port, but it still requires a controller just because of how the game is set up. So I move the big brother with my left joystick and the smaller brother with my right joystick, and then whenever there's something to interact with in the environment, you use the left and right trigger. So we're actually going to be bringing our father down to the local, I think it's to the medicine man or something. But yes, I'm interacting. Right now I'm holding down both the left and right joystick, and if I let go of the right joystick, for example, the little brother will leave, and then the big brother's like, hey, this is too heavy for me, help me out here. As you progress through the game, you essentially move from section to section. Again, the overall narrative is our father's sick, we're trying to make him better. But you move from section to section, solving puzzles in each little area of the environment, and we've got a couple of those rather simple puzzles right up here. And so, as you would expect, each of the brothers, they have their own strengths and weaknesses. The smaller brother, he's smaller, more agile, he can fit into tiny places, and he can walk across things that the bigger brother might not be able to. And the bigger brother, he's stronger. So for example, we've got this big old lever here. If I try to bring the small brother to do this, no luck, you know? Doesn't quite have the strength yet. But the big brother, he says, no problem. Let me get that lever for you. And he's going to easily be able to pull that and bring us over to the other side. And then we're going to pick this back up here and get our father... Come on, go ahead and interact with it. There you go. Get our father back onto the second portion of the ramp. And now you'll get to see some of the little brother's strengths. Again, he is the smaller, more agile one. Big brother has an much easier time lifting him up than vice versa, so we're gonna go ahead and go underneath this broken ladder. Propel little brother up, and then he can help us out by letting down the rope. There we go. And again, all I'm doing is moving up to these objects within the environment and interacting them with the left and right trigger. There's not a special button for jumping or a special button for lowering ropes or anything like that. It's the same thing for both. And this is rather interesting. The first time I came up to this, I didn't know what to do. So I held on to both of these with left and right trigger, and then I just pushed like up and down for the joysticks. You actually have to move the joysticks around in a circular motion, which is kind of cool. I like that they do that. And you know, it sort of makes sense given the context of what we're doing. So all right, we're just about there now, and you guys are going to see, well, yeah, the start of the game. I'm going to take you through this entire opening area into one of when things start to get a little bit weird. I want to at least get you that far before we cut this off. But here we go. Our father's sick. Here's the town medicine man or something like that. Absolutely beautiful environment in this game. The world that this game is set within is wonderful. And the characters, even though the dialogue is gibberish, they're endearing. So you can see right here they're having a conversation back and forth. And I'm pretty sure this gibberish, please correct me if I'm wrong, this could just be a language that I do not know. But I believe that they're speaking video game gibberish. But anyways, the story, as we see it, you know, our father's sick, we brought him to this guy, he shows us this map, he's explaining stuff to us, we're agreeing to it. And then we're about to go on our adventure, as a result. Thank you very much for the information, old wise man. Father, stay here, rest up. We'll be back as soon as possible. There you go, that's the story. That's the story. This is a really interesting game. It really, really is. I've really, really loved the world so far. And this guy, he's not interested in helping us out. We've got to get across the bridge. We have to get to town, and he's all like, no, no, you can't go. So let's see, we can just ignore him, or we can interact with him. All the characters that you walk by within the world, you can interact with them, and each of the brothers will have a different interaction. So little brother's gonna yell at him and say, hey, we need to get by, and he just goes, no, I don't think so. Big brother's gonna go over here, and he's gonna be like, hey, what about, do you know where we have to go? And he says, nope, can't help you. But he's rude. He's a mischievous fellow, so we're gonna get by him anyways. We're gonna go ahead and go down here into the water. And we'll have a little cutscene here, and you'll notice that little brother is very scared of the water. The one part that you missed that I didn't show is at the very start of the video, it showed an introduction where little brother was sitting by a grave, and then he had a memory of how his mother passed away. It was actually really depressing. He was in a boat during a storm, his mother fell overboard, and it was just him and his mother. He was not strong enough to pull his mother on board, so she ended up drowning. Rather depressing, and to top it all off, now their father's sick and dying, so definitely setting an ominous mood at the start of this game. But again, you'll notice the brothers can interact with each other. The big brother's strong enough to swim, little brother isn't. If little brother lets go, oh, he starts to drown, so he's got to hold on to big brother to make sure that he can make it all the way. Now, while there is a lot of interaction where only one brother can do a thing that the other brother cannot, there are certain areas like the climbing here that both brothers are capable of doing, and you're able to move them up simultaneously. But it's really, you know, I talked about this recently with an FPS. I was talking about with Insurgency, how it was refreshing that it was doing something different from a lot of the other FPS games that I've played recently. Well, the thing that I find very refreshing about this is that, again, it's something different from the typical. Moving around these characters independently is something that I personally haven't experienced in a game before. I am nearly 100% sure that something like this has been done in games before, but nothing that I've played before. And it's rather refreshing, and it helps that the world that the game is set in is interesting to me, both visually and just the characters and the environments. Okay, so the last thing that we do have that we can do with our controls is to rotate the camera. There's the left and right bumper that are able to rotate the camera. These little benches you'll find scattered throughout the world, and basically what you can do is you can sit on them, and they'll just give you sort of a nice vista view of the local environment. Lets you sort of see the world, and again, this is a game that tells its story without dialogue, or without real dialogue. It's using the gibberish language, the language of the game, but you can't really understand. You just have to sort of pay attention to the world. So seeing the characters move around the world, seeing different things that are occurring, is how the story is told. And then obviously a narrative is rolled out with your character's actions and the places that you go. All right, so we're gonna climb up on these big old barrels here, and then we can make our way up here over the rope onto this little platform and onto the roofs. It's just, I don't know, it's a cool world. And there's that mischievous fellow who just really hates us apparently. He's gonna lock the gate so that we can't get out, but you know what? We've got a trick for him. Well, yes we do, little brother. Big brother can't fit through here. But little brother, he sure can. So why don't you just let that little puppy, why don't you let that little puppy out? See what the stick waver has to say about that. Yeah, he doesn't look too thrilled. It's a little, like a terrier. What are you do? Why are you so terrified? Alright, so coming up here, something that I thought was just, again, endearing, cute, whatever you want to call it, was the way, again, the way you sort of can interact with characters within the environment. So we're going to move up here, walking past a few people, knocking on the door, sweeping their porch. We could also just walk down here, and again, one of these benches scattered throughout the game, just to see the vista. Take a look at the town again from a different perspective. But here we go, we've got this guy over here, and like I said before, the little brothers will interact with things in the environment differently. So there's different ways that we could get this guy up. I like the little brother way, though. The little brother tends to do things that are mischievous. He's a little bit of a troublemaker, splashing water on this poor guy to wake him up. And then Big Brother comes on, and a lot of times he's like, look, I just want to get business done. Here's the map. This is where we need to go. Thank you for the help. So he lets us over. How nice, huh? Big brother's just trying to get things done. He's not fooling around. Okay, so we're gonna head down here over to this next area and interact with a few of the townsfolk in some funny different ways. So once more, all these characters within the environment, we can interact with them in different ways. So for example, we've got this this nice older lady here, and little brother's like, "Hey, this is fun." And then big brother will come over, and once more, he's all about the business. So he says, "Where do we need to go?" And she says, "Ah, yes, right on over in that direction." Now we also have this guy up here sweeping. Let's see what we can do with him. Little brother first, because it tends to be funny. Hey, nice. Very impressive, but give it back to me. I need to sweep. And then big brother comes over and he says, "Hey, I'll help you out." There you go. It's nice. It's something. It's an extra level that I don't think they needed to do for this to be a good game, but it definitely adds more depth to it, and I really like that, because it could have very well just been moved from set piece to set piece, solving all the different puzzles. And this is even more so the case. Watch this, ready? This little girl playing basketball. We can take the ball, and we can play keep away. Like, it's really rather funny, and then we can just throw it to her if we want. But no, we're gonna keep the ball away, because we're mean. No, I'm just kidding. Here you go. There you go. And then she's going to run back over and shoot it in the hoop. It's endearing. And I'm really glad that they put that level of environmental interaction into this game. I'm really happy that they did that. And you know, you can tell, it's not like I can interact with every barrel, but you can, there are, again, even just like this, I just talked about how I can't interact with every barrel, but I can, you know, peer down and look into that well. I can't go into here, but I can take a look at the rose bushes, and look at this, I'm causing all sorts of trouble over here. What's Big Brother gonna do over here? I don't even know. I think he's helping. I think we're just helping him out. We're helping him with the rose bushes. That's nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and make it through here. A couple more puzzles that I want to show you before we wrap up this video. I am rather impressed so far. I really am. I think that this is really, really cool game. And once more, it's refreshing. It's nice, it's refreshing. Here's the town drunk. He can't really help us though. Let's show him the map, see what he has to say. He doesn't freaking know. He just wants to drink in peace. Let's leave him alone, huh? Alright. So coming up over here, we've got another puzzle for the two brothers to work together with. And this is the Angry Dog Puzzle. You may have seen this in promotional videos for the game, because I'm pretty sure this was covered in some sort of a trailer or a preview that I saw of this game. But basically, the two brothers, I can go like, "Hey, come over here," and then the little brother can go ahead and make it on over to the next spot. And actually, I'm gonna bypass that one, and then we're gonna say, "Hey, come over here." Yeah, and then he'll come, but I can call him back. I can call him back. Look at that. It's not scripted. I mean, you're totally like, you're the one calling the shots here. So he's gonna run. I'm gonna call him over. You come bark at me. This guy's gonna go over here. And then we're gonna call him over. Come here. Oops, get up there. And then I think Big Brother, okay, he'll make it over here. Call him over, call the dog over. Little brother's gonna make it. And we're actually gonna get him all the way. First time I did it, I actually went to every individual thing before going up, but it seems like that's unnecessary, so. Okay. There we go. We're all set. Both brothers made it. You see? It's all about the teamwork. Brothers working together. And that's the sort of, and that's basically how it plays out. I mean, you've seen some of the basic principles. Big brother, you know, able to pull heavy levers and hoist little brother up. Little brother able to make it into tiny spaces. Both the brothers collaborating together with things like that dog to make it through. That's essentially how the puzzles work throughout the course of this game. But I think one of the strengths from this game is just going to be from the world and the story, the narrative story that's told without dialogue as well. And I do believe that the puzzles get more complex. I mean, from what I've experienced, there have been tougher puzzles that take a little bit of time to figure out. In this early portion of the game, it's rather simplistic. And I hope to continue to play this game throughout the course of this week. That's my plan anyways. And if it ends up being the case, if I end up having the time to do that, I might give you some update videos for some of the more difficult puzzles as we move forward. But this is right about where we're going to be wrapping things up. We do have this one little puzzle over here that I'd like to show you. I thought this was kind of cool. So we've got this little thing here, this little wheel. So what we're going to do is we're going to have little brother go in, and then he starts running. I'm doing that with the joystick. I'm pushing him to the right. And then this lowers the bridge. Now, if he stops running, the bridge goes up, so we need him to keep running. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab one of these sheep here. And it moves pretty slow, so I'm going to stop running once we get on the bridge, just to get them down there a little bit quicker. And then we pick up the sheep as soon as he gets back up. There we go. And we say, little brother, your duties of running in the treadmill are over. Now it's time for the sheep to do it. There we go. Although I think you're facing the wrong way. Oh well, I guess it still works either way. First of all, who invented this contraption for this bridge? That seems like a really bad... I mean, so you're going to have one person run across that if you ever want to get to the sheep? It doesn't seem like an efficient way to trap in your livestock. I don't know, that's just me though. That's just my opinion. And we come up to here, and this is where things start to get weird, and this is pretty much where I wanted to cut it out. So we've left the town at this point. We're headed out into the wilderness, where a good chunk of this game is going to take place, making our way through caverns and all sorts of crazy things. You can see the dog in the background there. The cinematic shots in this game are really cool too, and I always enjoy when games have the background be explorable areas or areas that you've been before. And then look at this. This is the first bit of weirdness that we've seen in this game so far. There is literally a giant troll. And he's crying for some reason. I don't know why he's crying. And so far I haven't figured it out, but what I do know is that he helps us. He's a nice troll. He helps us in our adventure. Alright guys, we're gonna wrap things up here. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, this has been Force checking out the PC version of Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. An interesting adventure game that I find rather endearing, and I wholeheartedly suggest you check it out if you've liked what you've seen so far. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. Keep watching, and keep owning.